Hey everyone, it's Dominique from For Fuck's Sakes My Unfiltered Life. Welcome to episode number 2, What to Not Do During a Tinder Date. If you're wondering where my bae went, she's at home, and this was kind of a topic she doesn't really have experience with, so I thought I would handle this one solo. So, Tinder dates, whether it's Tinder, Badoo, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, whatever dating app you use, there's some really important things you should know. Like, for one, no dick pics. We don't like them, we don't want them. Unless we ask for them, we don't want them. We don't want bulge pics either. What's the point? To me, a dick pic is useless. It's like a picture of money. It's just something there that I can't use, I can't touch, so why bother? Just why fucking bother sending it? So please, no dick pics. And to go hand in hand with no dick pics, you should never put your dick in someone's hand the first time you meet them without permission, and I can explain why. I went on a dog walking date a while ago. It was minus 15 degrees Celsius, so cold, winter, snow. Right away, my dog Loki did not like this guy. He was an IT nerd visiting for IT nerd conference in town, and he suggested going on a walk, and I was like, okay, sure, let's go on a walk. Fine, I'm bringing the dog. And as soon as my dog Loki saw this guy, he really did not care for him and started growling and going nuts. And it's weird because, Loki's like the best dog ever and he loves everybody, but not IT nerd guy. So we're walking and talking in the woods in the snow, and suddenly IT nerd guy grabs me and kisses me, which was really weird because he's a Finn and an older Finnish guy, like in his 40s, early 40s. So, Finns are very like shy and they're very introverted, and, to be so ballsy is just unheard of, especially when there's no alcohol involved. So I was really surprised, and then I just said, like, okay, maybe we should keep going because Loki's not really happy. And that was fine. We kept walking, and then 5 minutes later, he did it again, but then he put his dick in my hand, and I was just like, no, I'm not having sex with you. I'm sorry. I don't do public sex anymore. Like when I was 18, the challenge and all that, that was fun. But I'm older, and I know there's people going to be coming through the woods with their own dogs, and they're skiers, and it's broad daylight, and it's not my thing. Oh, and it's minus fucking 15 degrees Celsius outside. What the fuck are you thinking? So I just said, no, not my thing, sorry. I'm leaving now. And then the guy was just like, well, could you suck it? Well, no, if I'm not going to fuck it, I'm definitely not going to suck it. So I left, and that was fine. And then dude, was like, oh, I'm really sorry, tucking his junk back in his trunk. And, I'm really sorry, I'm going to be lost. I was like, you're not lost, I'll take you to the parking lot area, and then I'm leaving. So I took him to the parking lot area so I could go, with my dog and, like, get back to my home. And he suggested, well, I have an RV or a caravan, mobile home, whatever, that thing from Breaking Bad. And I was like, yeah, what's your point? He said, well, you were talking about photography, and I thought we could do a road trip together so you can do some pictures of the Northern Lights. Like, I've been to Sweden, Norway, Northern Finland, blah, 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 blah. No, no. And then dude persisted. IT nerd continued and just could not take no for an answer. So this is rule number 2. When someone says no, it means no. And it drove me nuts. He was just like, well, I really want to have sex with you, so I could, like, come back tomorrow because my ex still has the kids. And I just looked at him, and I had to think fast because he could not take no for an answer. And I simply wasn't attracted to him because he put his dick in my hand. And, I had to think fast, like, what is the most disgusting thing a woman can tell a man that would make them not want to have sex with them? So I just said, like, look, to be honest, it's Shark Week, aka period. It's Shark Week. I got a killer headache. I just want like 5 ibuprofens, a Big Mac meal, and I'm like cramping and I'm sore and I'm like gushing like Niagara Falls. And you would think that would disgust someone, like telling them that you're bleeding so much out your hoo-ha, that it looks like Niagara Falls, but red. And I thought, okay, yes, I win. He's going to leave me alone. Hell no. What does he say? That's okay. I have lots of towels and a shower head. Like, that does not at all sound like, CSI or NCIS or, crime scene show, Dexter at all. So I was just like, yeah, no. And then he still didn't take no for an answer, and he was kind of waiting, thinking like shower head and some towels would be a-okay. So I just said, well, let me think about it. It'll be all right. Like shower head, of course. Yeah, sounds good. And then he was all happy and he gave me a hug. And as soon as his back was turned and I was down the road, I fucking blocked him. That's just so. Oh, that was my cat Peppy. That was just so weird. Second worst Tinder date experience. A guy I had been talking to for much longer than IT nerd guy, a couple of weeks. Sounded like a great guy, older gentleman, business guy. We had some stuff in common, some hobbies. And the plan was we would go for a run. I don't really run, but I can like walk really fast. So go for a run with the dog and, see if things hit off, if we have chemistry, probably hook up and also make some pizza. And we had been talking a few weeks and it sounded like he was a really reasonable guy. His English was excellent. And whenever there's a possibility of sex, I always have like the conversation with the guy before meeting them. Like, I don't like this, I don't like that. We are so using condoms because I don't know where you've been, you don't know where I've been. I want to stay clean, etc. Because I would hate to put myself in that position where I find out the guy likes to beat the fuck out of me and I'm not into that, So I have that conversation. And I also, as another safety measure, I always tell one of my best friends, who is Bay from the last video. Bay knows like where I'm going. Bay knows approximately how long the date will be, what I'm doing. And I don't use my phone when I'm on a date, but if the person isn't looking or they went to the bathroom or something like that, I'll just quickly send a message like, I'm okay. Just so she knows, and she knows where I am, so she can bail me out if need be. Anyway, dude comes over, like I said, seemed like a nice guy. He travels through my town to get to another town to visit his parents. So I thought, nice family boy, mama's boy, okay, should be promising. And looking for a soulmate. So I wasn't so concerned about the soulmate part. I just thought, okay, decent guy, we have things in common, let's meet. And we didn't go for the run because it was pouring out. And then we were like, okay, let's make pizza and hang out. So we're making pizza. He brought wine. He pours wine in a cup for me. And he says in Finnish, "Sa oot mun narttu," which means, you are my bitch. And I just like looked at him and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And he just said, well, you don't know what I said. He. While he's like sipping his wine. And I was just like, you just called me a bitch. And that's like rule number one. I have respect for myself. I respect you. I respect myself. I do not deserve to be called someone's bitch, whore, slut, whatever. Nobody does. It's inappropriate. It's not necessary. And it's mean. So then he just took it back. He apologized. Pizza was cooking. Went to the bed. And out of nowhere, he's saying, like, what year are you born in? And I was like, 80 something. Why? And he's just like, oh, yeah, I've had younger. And I'm lying there thinking, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking about someone you've had sex with and then talking to me about it? And I just said, like, okay, congratulations. So he rolls away, all dramatic, and he's like, oh my God, you think I'm super disgusting and weird? And I was just like, well, I just think it's, kind of an awkward time to bring that kind of thing up. Whatever. And then progressing on, he began to choke me. And I don't do well with choking, for a variety of reasons. Again, it's a trust thing. It's not something I would do with someone on the first date or maybe ever in a relationship. It's not really my thing. And he started to choke me, and I was like, no, no, please don't choke. And this is again rule number one. You know, well, rule number two, no means no. So I was just like, no, I'm not into choking. Please don't choke me. And he's like, it's okay. You just need to trust me. I was like, it's not about trust. It's also like the first time we've actually met in person. It's not my thing. I've told you no, and I told you in advance I'm not into this stuff. So I was just like, no, please stop right now. And he continued and said, like, I'm not squeezing hard. Don't worry, as he was squeezing harder. So I'm panicking a little bit and thinking, like, what is nearby that would help me get him off of me if need be, for a physical altercation of sorts. So I just said, look, on the table behind you is my asthma meds. Like, I actually have asthma. It's not a pocket dildo or vibrator, it's actually an inhaler behind you. And he's like, you're not asthmatic. You just need to trust me. You're too young to understand. And I was just like, okay, bitch, please. Like, I don't want to die from sex with a stranger, not exactly the way I want to go. Maybe when I'm 90, 95, with someone I trust and care about, that could be a different story. But right now, I'm still in my 30s, so I still want to live. And he looked behind him, saw the medicine, and clearly the medicinal pharmacy label on it, and was just like, oh, you're no fun. And it was just really like, because I won't let him call me his bitch, and because he wanted to talk about his sex life with other women while having sex with me, it was just weird. And then to say I'm no fun because I just wanted to live and not have an asthma attack, puke, die, whatever, embarrass myself. But I guess the last straw after that, surprisingly, we kept going somehow. He slapped me, and it wasn't hard, but it was across my face, and it was just very unnecessary and very rude. So like, I kicked him out. I just said, like, pack your shit up and leave. And the guy started whining, 40 something years old, and started whining like, wow, well, I can't get a hotel. I can't go to my parents because I've been drinking. He drank maybe this much wine in a cup. In all fairness, I respect if he truly does not drink and drive, not even a drop. That's cool. But the fact is, it wasn't very much, and he had alternatives. That was more important. There's a bus stop nearby. There's, a taxi. There's him sleeping in his car or getting someone to pick him up, you know. And he's like, well, I haven't booked a hotel room. And I was like, look, my dear, you walked in here with at least 2 laptops, or tablets, sorry, and 2 cell phones. You're hooked up on my Wi-Fi. Like, ciao. Just get out. And he was pretty upset and disappointed. And, as soon as he left, I was shaking. It's one of those things where I'm very grateful I live in Finland, because this kind of date situation could have gone horribly wrong, in any country, of course. But I find in Finland, men are quite respectful generally, and they do listen to the women when they say no, usually, and they will leave when told to leave. So I was very fortunate that he didn't force himself onto me again or hurt me physically more, or actually killed me. So yeah, it was an interesting situation, and it's something, on a serious note, like, please be careful when you consider taking a date, doing anything. Use protection, have a backup plan, have a buddy system in place. If you're the buddy, don't judge, just be there for your friend that's on a date, just in case, because you never know what can happen. And I'm so glad that I have Bae, pretty much at my beck and call when it comes to dates. Like, she will call me, she'll bail me out, of a date scenario if need be, like, no problem. And she, I called her up, and she's like, oh, well, that date didn't last very long. And I was like, yeah, well, this happened. And she was just like, holy fuck, I'm gonna video call you. And we just chatted about it, and I was upset, and she's just been awesome. She offered to come over, but it was fine, you know, and she came over the next day. But yeah, it's little things like that that make really horrible Tinder date stories, I guess. And I guess I'm fortunate enough that I was able to get out of those situations, learned from them. I'm able to laugh about some of them later on, you know, and they make interesting stories to tell other future dates. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What not to do on a Tinder date. Keep your dick in your pants, unless asked for. Keep your dick pics to yourself, unless asked for. And the most important one of all is no means no. You know, respect the woman or respect the man, because it can go both ways. You know, someone says no, it fucking means no. What would your mother say if she heard about the shit that you're sending or doing to the ladies or men, whatever way you want to look at it? You know, not cool. So be a cool person, be respectful, be kind, be a gentleman, be a lady, you know, that will help you score so much more on like the good dating side of things, you know, than flashing your dick about, especially in the woods. Minus 15 degrees Celsius. Who the fuck does that? What a weirdo. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Much love.